Hello everyone, this is me Arpita Pal, your educator, and I am once again here with another lesson in which we are revising modern Indian history from Spectrum. So, till now we have discussed almost up to revolt of 1857 and social and religious reforms. In this lecture, we will be discussing about the important personalities and the movements led by them. For example, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Swami Vivekanand, and many more. So, this is part 1 of the series. In the lecture series, and part 2 will be added on later. So let's begin. But before beginning, I have an important announcement for you all. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel Arpita Sharma Classes to have the daily Hindu news analysis and analysis of important international organizations, your daily MCQs which will be beneficial for your prelims preparation, strategy classes for UPSC CSE, polity classes, important Indian polity topics classes, economics classes, economics MCQ series, and what not. You can press the bell icon and never miss an update. Also, Arpita Sharma ma'am is taking Live Plus courses on an Academy Plus platform, so you can use the code Sharma20 and get 10% discount for it. So let's begin. Firstly, starting with Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Right, starting with Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Now, Raja Ram Mohan Roy was one of the intellectuals who was a pioneer in banning sati in India, or in banning sati from, or removing sati from India. He, along with Lord William Bentinck, worked against the abolition of sati and succeeded in it. He is also known as the father of Indian Renaissance because he was very much influenced by the Renaissance period going in around the world, and hence he wanted to do the same in India as well, because India was, if India needed to develop, some reforms were needed, and that was very much understood by Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Hence he was also known as the father of Indian Renaissance. He translated Vedas and Upanishads into Bengali for a better understanding of it. Also, he established the Atmiya Sabha, started the Atmiya Sabha in 1814 at Calcutta, in which he propagated the theory of Vedanta. Also, he started the Brahmo Sabha. This is very important. Direct questions have been asked and can be asked in future as well. So, he started the Brahmo Sabha in the year 1828, which was later converted into, or which was later named as the Brahmo Samaj. In which, in the Brahmo Sabha or in the Brahmo Samaj, what was the main aim of the organization was that it criticized sati. It was extremely against sati, against the practice of sati, in which the women or the widows, if the husband of a woman used to die, then she was forced to sit on the funeral pyre and hence die with the husband. So this was very much opposed by Raja Ram Mohan Roy and his organization, that is the Brahmo Sabha or the Brahmo Samaj, and sati was criticized. Thus, he was also against polygamy. He didn't believe that one man should have many wives, because it was against the rights of, or right to equality of women. Hence, he criticized sati, and as a result, in 1829, sati was abolished by his efforts along with William Bentinck. See, now we will discuss about Raja Ram Mohan Roy in detail. Raja Ram Mohan Roy attacked polygamy and degraded state of widows. See, he very well knew that once the husband of the women used to die in that era, the state or the lives of the life of widow was very much miserable. She was not allowed to sleep on the bed, she was not allowed to wear colorful clothes, she was not allowed to eat even a healthy meal. Hence, the life of a widow was made miserable. It was even worse than dying. So that is why most of the women who got widowed at an early age, they preferred dying, or they preferred sati rather than living life of a widow, because because living the life of a widow was much more miserable. Also, because he himself was an intellectual, he was a very learned man. He founded the Hindu College in 1817 with David Hare. Also established the Vedanta College in 1825 and condemned the oppression by zamindars. Now see, zamindars used to oppress or used to exploit the peasants, because they were almost the middlemen who used to collect taxes from the peasants and then take up a huge share or keep a huge share with them and give the remaining to the British government. As a result, they were very much used to exploit the peasants a lot. Hence, he also condemned, or Raja Ram Mohan Roy condemned this oppression by zamindars. He also demanded Indianization of higher service and separation of executive from judiciary. This is a very important topic. Please keep it in mind. Please remember it. It may be asked as a direct question in UPSC prelims examination. So he demanded Indianization of higher services. What does it mean? It means that he wanted that Indians should be employed at higher positions in British government, and the judiciary and executive should be separate entities or should be separate from each other, should not interfere in each other's domain. This was propagated, or these were the thoughts that were propagated by Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Then Brahmo Samaj, which was established by Raja Ram Mohan Roy, or which was earlier known as the Brahmo Sabha. Right, Brahmo Samaj or Brahmo Sabha. Now, Brahmo Sabha or Brahmo Samaj was joined by many intellectuals like Debendranath Tagore and Keshav Chandra Sen. Debendranath Tagore later formed the Tattvabodhini Sabha, which was founded in 1839, and the Brahmo Samaj also opposed religious conversion. They were against religious conversion. They did not believe that one should convert from one religion to another forcibly. Also, Brahmo Samaj was a reformist organization. We have already discussed what are reformist and revivalist organizations in the previous lessons. So, if you do not understand the meaning of reformist organization, I would suggest please go through the previous lesson. You will understand it easily. Keshav Chandra Sen later founded the Brahmo Samaj of India. Because of some disputes, he basically left Brahmo Samaj and hence later founded the Brahmo Samaj of India in 1866. And Debendranath Tagore, who remained the part of Brahmo Samaj, he called the Brahmo Samaj, or he changed the name of Brahmo Samaj as the Adi Brahmo Samaj. Then also there was Sadharan Brahmo Samaj, which was started by Anand Mohan Bose, and Brahmo Samaj had its centers at Madras and Punjab. At Punjab, Dayal Singh Trust was started, and Dayal Singh College was also started at Lahore in 1910. So, what we can conclude that Brahmo Samaj was not only against the suppression or the oppression of satis, but it was also interested in providing education to the people. It was also a reformist organization, and it was also against forced religious conversions. Now, Pratna Samaj. Pratna Samaj was started in 1867 by Atmaram Pandurang in Bombay. It was joined by Mahadev Govind Ranade or M.G. Ranade in 1870. It was attached to the Bhakti cult of Maharashtra. If you have read NCERT of class 7th, Bhakti cult has been described very much in detail in class 7th. I would suggest if you have time, then you can just go through class 7th NCERT, because Bhakti and religious reforms or religious movements are explained in detail in class 7th NCERT. So, if you have time, you can go through it. So, Pratna Samaj was attached to the Bhakti cult of Maharashtra, say Sant Ramanand, Sant Madhavacharya, etc. And it had a 4-point agenda. What was the 4-point agenda? What was the 4-point agenda? Firstly, it was against the caste system. It favored widow remarriage. See, now widows also, as I have already told you, that widows had a very miserable condition, or used to live a very stressful life. Hence, Pratna Samaj favored widow remarriage, which was earlier not allowed. Also, it favored raising the age of consent for marriage of both boys and girls, and also favored women's education, because Pratna Samaj believed that an educated woman is an asset for the society. Hence, they favored women's education, because human resource, or if a woman is educated, she is a human resource, or anybody in the society if is educated, that is a human resource, which helps in the development of the country. Other supporters of the Pratna Samaj were D.K. Karve, N.G. Chandravarkar and R.G. Bhandarkar as well. Now, what was the Young Bengal movement? Young Bengal movement was started by an Anglo-Indian who was Henry Vivian Desrosiers. Now, Anglo-Indians, I hope you know what is the meaning of Anglo-Indians. The Britishers who used to marry Indians, or their offsprings were Anglo-Indians. He had a rational and liberal approach. Thus, this liberal and rational approach was not very much followed by many people, or was not accepted by many people. Hence, Young Bengal movement did not go much ahead. It was the first, Henry Vivian Desrosiers was the first nationalist poet of modern India, but as I have already told you that because of his rational and liberal approach, or his rational thoughts, he was removed from Hindu College, due to radicalism in 1831. What you have to remember is that Young Bengal movement, who started the Young Bengal movement, this is all you need to remember from prelims point of view, okay, and the year and what was the agenda of the various movements. Next is Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was a blend of Indian and Western thought because he himself was an intellectual. In 1850, he was also the principal of Sanskrit College, which was open even to non-Brahmins. So, this was a very good step taken by Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, that he was the principal of Sanskrit College and he opened the school not only to Brahmins but also to non-Brahmins who were deprived education at a certain point of time during the modern period. He also supported widow remarriage and because of his efforts, widow remarriage was legalized in the year 1856. He was also a pioneer of higher education for women. So, these were the reforms made by Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Then Satya Shodhak Samaj, it was founded by Jyotiba Phule in 1873, who himself belonged to a Mali community. So, Mali community was a community or was a lower caste. So, he understood the basically the oppression suffered by the lower caste people or the people from lower caste. Hence, he tried to uplift the lower caste or the lower strata of the society. Now, he belonged to a Mali community and his main aim was social service and education for women and lower caste people. Then the important works by Phule were Gulamgiri and Sarvajanik Satya Dharma. These are very important, you must keep them in mind because direct questions can be asked, that who was the author of the following journal, or who wrote the following journal or the book, in which language was it written, what was the theme of the book. So, please remember the names. Then he also opened girls school at Pune and widows home in 1854 as well, because he was very much inclined towards providing a good education to girls and was also a pioneer of Widow Remarriage Act. Then Gopal Ganesh Agarkar, he founded the New School of Education and Deccan Education Society and Fergusson College. The periodical, which is important, Sudharak, which was against untouchability, was started or used or was written by Gopal Ganesh Agarkar. He was the first editor of Kesari. Kesari was a journal by Lokmanya Tilak and was edited by Gopal Ganesh Agarkar. Okay, he was not the author of Kesari. Kesari was authored by Lokmanya Tilak and was edited by Gopal Ganesh Agarkar. Then the Servants of India Society. Servants of India Society was started by Gopal Krishna Gokhale and M.G. Ranade in 1905. The main aim of this society was to train national missionaries for the service of India, because what they wanted to do, they wanted that people should, or the citizens of India should be servants of India, they should work towards the nationalist goals, and hence they wanted to train the national missionaries for the service of India, and people or the young generation should devote their lives to the cause of country in a religious spirit. Journal which is important is Hitavad, which was a journal of the Servants of India Society, and later on, after the death of the founders, the Servants of India Society was continued by Srinivas Shastri after Gopal Krishna Gokhale. So, I hope, though this is a small lesson, but this is small because, or this is a short lesson because what is important is that you need to remember the journal and the organization started by various people, by various social reformers, or the important personalities you need to remember. So, this much would be enough. I hope you have understood everything. In case you have not, do let me know in the comment section. I will try to resolve all your queries. Thank you.